Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining Archangel Alts. And this is going to be just a little bit different thing, but it's just a quick food for thought that is going to go into our deeper crypto philosophy talks and teachings. So I saw this post from Crypto's Batman, and it wrapped up something that we're going to be talking about in such a succinct tweet that I thought I would go ahead and cover it. So Facebook and JPMorgan issue stablecoins. Samsung S10 will launch the crypto-related features. What he's talking about is that it'll actually allow you to use your Samsung as a wallet for specific coins. Fidelity Digital launches Bitcoin trading in March. When is March? March is March, now. Morgan Creek raises big money from institutions, etc. Okay, there's other things that are supposed to be announced in March as well. So some big stuff coming up, all right? So here's the thing, is that we really need to get on the ball, and it needs to happen before all these things are already in place, but we're already here. So I've been saying this for a long time, but you haven't known me for a long time, so it's okay. But now that I'm saying it to you, you better take heed. Please pay attention, folks. We don't want... Okay, what is the whole idea of decentralization? Kind of getting away from the man, right? Getting out from under the thumb of authority and the weight of despair and the tyranny of the evil and greed of, big bank, big pharma, big institutions, big government, all that stuff, right? Having independence of thought, independence of freedom, the ability to trade and barter and deal in digital currency as one wishes without having the, huge bottlenecks and cruelty of power that comes along with the man, right? Well, I mean, does Facebook qualify for any of those things? Do they take every single thing that you do with your social data and sell it to governments and the highest paying corporations? Yes, they do. Are they tracking that same information to have an advantage as a company for themselves in the billions? Yes. Do they provide you a free service, but free at what cost? I mean, if you thought of it in terms of your GPS location, your coupons that you use, your friends that you make, and the things that you talk about, the ideas that you have that are unique to you, that other people find value in, its algorithm tracks every single one of those things and they know how to monetize on that. Well, JPMorgan Chase has, at least in the most recent of years, if not going all the way back through Freemasonry and all the other stuff that a lot of people will talk about, much of it true, some of it a little bit fitting a cookie cutter plan. Greed is greed. It's been there much longer before Chase came around, JPMorgan came around. But the JPM coin, both of these, the keyword that you see right here is stable coins. Well, don't you think we have enough stable coins already? Nope, the new ones are coming. One of them is not intended to come to be traded on the marketplace, but I don't know how long I've ever seen banks, wait to turn down free profit. So we'll see what happens there. But it's a transaction-oriented thing that could, we don't know how big of a strong arm JPM has to compete with XRP Ripple. So the Samsung thing, maybe that's a good thing. I wonder how the protection works. So somebody loses their phone, what happens to their wallets? Not really sure. Is it in a cloud, or is it biometric, so it's somewhat safe? Not really sure. Morgan Creek raising money. There's the backed BAKT thing. We're going to go over all these different things, but so the sentiment here is we're up for a wild ride with huge growth. Are you ready? I'm ready, but I'm not sure that we're getting ready for the right thing, because we don't want regulation, and we don't want more stable coins coming to the market to dilute the value of what's being traded on the market. So very slowly, I'm hearing smart people on YouTube that I think have the right intentions and have been reporting accurate news. They're losing sight of how this actually works. We've got to get on the same page with global economics. We've got to do it soon. I need a larger megaphone and a lot more time. But we don't have the time, so somebody bring me like a 7,000-pound megaphone and let's get the truth out there. Open up some eyes and minds. Please, people, don't be too much in your lane to be willing to hear a larger truth of what's going on. See beyond the immediate and see immediately after that what the effect of these things are going to be as they come on the market. I'm going to be pointing these out in deep, deep, deep analysis, but I need to know that you're there. I need to know that you're on board. I need to know that you're going to listen to what needs to be said and spread the word. If you understand it, if you know something somebody else doesn't know, then we need to become a powerful group. It's not just about trading and finding good positions for yourself. This is a once in a lifetime thing that's happening with the coins. This stuff matters, okay? The thing, here's the takeaway, that is going to lead to mass adoption and be healthy for the economy within cryptocurrencies, and therefore hopefully eventually for those emerging economies, the people, not the governments, who need the most help and then need the most actual ideology coming from the decentralization. It needs to happen on a ground level. It needs to happen from people like us who are already there, the early adopters, the early adopters, and the hodlers alike. There needs to be liquidity in the market. Buying and selling in the marketplace is what makes a marketplace work. If everybody that had coins held coins, and if everybody that doesn't have coins yet watches to see what JPMorgan and Facebook and I'm just going to call all of them out there. It's going to be Wells Fargo, and is going to be Citibank, is going to be all of your credit cards, is going to be blockchain. Every hotel chain. It's going to be Home Depot. It's going to be Lowe's. It's going to be everybody. Walmart, of course. All of these things. We've just realized there's something called blockchain, and we're going to take use of it for inventory, for tracking of data, for ledgers on our sustainable items that we shelf, so that we can keep up with the green footprint, fingerprint, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You understand what I'm saying? Don't you think that bringing all of those things into the current marketplace is going to dramatically make them look like what's out there outside of crypto land? Almost completely. They're not going to do something different inside of the cryptocurrency ecosystem that they're currently doing outside of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Okay? So now the window is closing in closer and closer. So it's time to dig in and be a part of the crypto revolution. So I'm going to be covering very quickly. I'm going to be shifting into some things that we really need to be talking about. But again, I've heard it said something along the lines of, in leadership, a person who's a leader who doesn't have anybody following them is just a guy out there on a walk. So I don't have time for, taking frivolous walks. I'll do what's healthy, but sure. But I'm looking to be a thought leader in this space and help be the right answers to the crypto revolution. But I'm a very small megaphone right now, working from a ground level. What I know is that I have the right ideas, that we need to be working together, to learn together, to be in one accord, to understand together. They're big concepts. They're very wide-reaching. But we don't want to be analyzing these things after they've already happened. And so let's not be the electronic digital version of the guy that walk around saying, "See, I told you so. Somebody will listen to me." So let's be ahead of this thing. Okay, so I'm going to have to use the day trading time to go over some of these thoughts, these philosophical thoughts, economical thoughts. But these are important videos. These are things that we need to understand. It's right around the corner. And these things may begin to affect the market more and more. Let me ask you that: do you think that shorting Bitcoin in contracts is different than hopping right on Binance exchange and trading Bitcoin against Tether USDT, or trading all of the 140 something altcoins that are the safest, smartest, consistently hanging in their coins against BTC itself? Or, in many ways, trading against Ether, if that's your thing, is, healthy for Bitcoin, because it brings attention to the market in the same way. But Ethereum is not as huge on its own as you might think. It's the next contender in line is 1/34th of the size of Bitcoin, and it is affected by the up and down growth of Bitcoin, even if you're not trading Bitcoin and Ether together. If you're trading any other coin against Ether, you are moving with Bitcoin anyway. So just keep these things in mind. The way to support real decentralized growth is to get on a safe, centralized exchange like Binance and trade against Bitcoin. You're creating liquidity. You're showing that it has market value. And that's the way that it works. So I'm going to do a video specifically just on liquidity to make sure that you're getting it, okay? If you have a marketplace where you have one guy that's going to buy and one guy that's going to sell, and the buyer is not willing to pay a single penny more than what he thinks, in this case, Bitcoin is worth, and the guy with the Bitcoin is saying, you know what, I'm holding. It's going to go to $1 million, so I'm supporting Bitcoin by holding it. Okay, well, guess what happens to that marketplace if that's where both people stay? That's right, it closes down. Okay, so somebody else comes in and says, this is prime real estate. I could come in here and make something happen. What we need to do is bring the dollar here. So if I bring the dollar and I say, you know what, Bitcoin, you're really cool, but I'm stronger than you, and I'm more stable than you. And then Bitcoin says, yeah, but there's already like 7 other guys just like you. Says, yeah, but I'm one of those guys that you could take a risk on, and there might be arbitrage between a penny up or down between the rest of us. And it says, well, you know, every time there's hype, one of you guys comes along and people start using you. But then, you know, I'm the one that's left, and you guys are just getting smaller and smaller while Tether remains exactly where it was to begin with. And so, you know, JPM says, well, yeah, but we got our own thing going on. And Facebook says, yeah, but we're Facebook. You know, we've got Facebook to market with. And what is it? WhatsApp, I believe. So, yeah, do we want a healthy marketplace? Yes. Then what makes healthy marketplace is liquidity. You know, people think that the only thing that matters is what is the current going price of Bitcoin. I care much more about how much of it was traded in 24 hours. I care a lot more about that on Binance as a snapshot of the healthy part of the industry than I do about the market capitalization. Because there are so many small or extremely questionable exchanges. If, you know, something very small went higher than $120 million in 24-hour volume right now on Bitcoin, I would suspect it of pumping its own volume. If it's extremely small in comparison, it kind of doesn't matter as much. We need something that is a steady example of exactly what kind of activity is happening. So what we want is millions of normal people who want to learn how to day trade, period. So go and grab those in the next 7 days, and let's do this thing. All right, that's my message for this very short segment. God bless you guys, and for now, Archangel Alts.